Well, I think a lot of people recognise that gentleman as Kurt Cobain. I'm surprised he's actually still alive. He's a bit of an animal. But look, before I get into that video, and obviously both of you have worked with Kurt at some point in time, and Warren, you actually nominated Kurt as part of your one of the gaming genealogy tree. I just want to make you both comfortable, and I didn't think tequila was appropriate. You're on the senior side. You get a good discount at McCallum Bar. No, just stay. It's okay, mate. It's okay. We've got. Here we go. Yeah. No. I thought, Warren probably hasn't, fond memories of Macau and whatnot, and just want to get you a glass of portive on my. You all right with that? Just like sitting around the fireplace, like you used to do at Aristocrat.
This glass used to be a lot bigger then.
Well, I'm sure it would. Hang on. Get this bloody thing open. Hang on, before I spill it, hold that.
See how handsome I used to look?
Which one?
I think that's me in the red.
Oh, that's Punter.
Oh, was it? It's very, very hard to see up here with all these goddamn lights. Yeah, thank you, Kyles. I love you too. Even though Chris is not really sure.
I'll get one, don't worry. So just talk amongst yourself, would you? So Kurt, tell us about Kurt a little bit there, Ken. You got a story for us?
Yeah, look, I go back. I know it sounds like I'm really old, but I used to sell gaming machines to Kurt's father. And
you are old though.
I am old, yes. And you used to look at in the days of living in Port Macquarie on the north coast of New South Wales, and you'd go down to Taree, where Kurt's father and Kurt lived as a young boy, and you always knew the last call of the night was to go and see Colgazane, because you're going to know that you're going to end up singing, you're going to end up partying. And I can always remember one night going to, the bar had closed, the club had closed, and we went round to Kurt's house, or went round to Cole's house, and because young Kurt's 7 years old's sleeping in the bedroom. So lo and behold, many years later, I got to employ him. But great guy, good stuff.
Yeah, he's a lovely bloke. He's a good mate of mine too. And Warren, obviously, you nominated him you saw a lot of qualities in him as a young boy and gave him a few opportunities to move up here, etc.
Yeah, well, it's fortunate. We started a cadet program back in the early 2000s, and Kurt came through that program. I class him as one of my sons because he lived with us for probably 4 or 5 years. Said he was coming for 3 months and stayed 4 years. He was looked after that much. But
the lodger.
Yeah, the lodger. Yes. But he's just a tremendous young man and got great qualities. And you know what I like about him is his calm nature. He's never on the move. He doesn't fidget. Doesn't like to stay up late at night. And he's very introverted. That's what I like.
So we're talking about Kurt Cobain, right?
Yeah, the same bloke.
Okay, right. Yeah. Well, doesn't sound like him, but anyway. But yeah, both of you. I mean, both of you got very interesting backgrounds. You've obviously been on the supplier side for most of your careers, and I mean, I know Ken, you told me some amazing stories which you promised that. Well, I didn't promise anything actually. About your time back in Adelaide, hanging out with the Matthews crew, some of the old days selling slot machines to local RSLs. I mean, where did it all begin for you?
I'd like to go back even before that and talk about my gaming career or sales career in New South Wales. And I worked for Warren for a number of years, and that was interesting times. He particularly saved me from 2 marriages, 2 divorces, and 2 whatever. So now I'm on my own, but who knows how. Thank you, Warren.
So how many times have you been married then?
I've had a couple of false starts, young Mickey.
I can't come back from that because I wouldn't know. So when did you two first start working together? Was it love at first sight or?
Oh no, Ken started as a technician. I was in Port Macquarie, and I was in the Hunter Valley in New South Wales, and we eventually ended up working together in Sydney for a long time. And our paths and our journeys crossed over many, many years, and ultimately we were both fortunate to come to Macau and start working here and set up the Aristocrat office here back in the early 2000s. And there's a lot of fun stories along the way.
I mean, obviously you've done something, right? Because Ken actually nominated you as a leader, as someone as he looked up to you, and you've obviously been instrumental in his career.
Did you know Warren played football for Cessnock?
Where's Cessnock?
Some wine area up in the Hunter Valley.
It's from the Hunter, it's not wine. Just a quick comment. I know my wine, just so I'm not in gaming, so I don't really care if I piss people off. But no, look, just a quick question for you, Ken. I heard a little story about you falling off the back of a boat. Is this true?
I recently had a trip to East Timor, and the guests that were hosting me decided to take me to some island, and instead of setting off at 7 in the morning when the ocean is quite flat, we set off at about 11 in the morning, and we're about halfway across the crossing, and there's more waves coming over the front of the boat. It's taking about an hour longer than it was normal, and I had to have a piss, so I stood up at the back of the boat and went to undo the fly, and next minute I'm in the water.
Was it a bit of a castaway moment on an island? You found your Wilson, or did they get you pretty quickly?
Well, put it this way, we actually had to spend the night on the island. It was so bad to go back. So I slept on some dodgy piece of timber on some balcony somewhere in some little island off East Timor. I can tell you, it's not the experience that I always want to remember. And it was only last year.
I'm surprised you could still swim. And Warren, just getting back to you, I mean, obviously you've worked with the Aristocrat for most of your life, and there are also a corporate founding seed as well. And I mean, what has Aristocrat done for you over the years? They've obviously been a big family that's just grown and grown. And is there anything you want to say about what they've done and to thank them at all?
I just class myself as a very fortunate young man who, was born and bred in the Hunter Valley, and got an opportunity to work with a company at that stage was primarily an Australian-based organisation. I pinch myself today that 33 years later I'm still here doing some work for them, and I'm very fortunate. I travelled the world, I had a great career, met some fantastic friends. This marketplace was one of the most exciting things that I ever was part of opening for Aristocrat, with a lot of good people. Made some great people who taught me a lot about drinking. David Green, Kieran Carruthers, Frank McFadden, just a few names that spring to mind.
I don't know any of them like they drink. I've never seen them with a drink in hand, to be honest. But anyway, look, I just want to thank you both for your time, and to Neil Armstrong with the moon boot and Warren, just say thank you very much. And I think it suits you, actually.
Thank you, Mickey.
No worries, Kenneth. But thank you very much, and thank you again for being founding seeds.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers, just leave it on the chairs. Okay.